Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of the Item Toolkit Reliability Block Diagram module for performing availability studies. In part 1, we created a new project and a new RBD system where we constructed a small system with a generator in series, 3 pumps in parallel followed by 2 valves in parallel. We analyzed this system and looked at the results. Here in part 2, we will look at generating tabular reports for our RBD system, as well as exporting our RBD diagram to Word or printing it directly to a printer or a PDF writer. Let's open our project and take a look at how we do this. This is the project and system that we built in part 1, so let's analyze this so that all of our blocks and nodes show the calculations on the diagram. To create a tabular report from an existing template or create a new report template, we would access the report generator via the File option, Print Preview, Reports. The report generator window will open up and display all the available templates for the RBD system that we are working on. Here we can select one of the existing templates, so let's select the last 3 templates and look at the results for our small system. Here's the first report showing us the cut sets for our system along with the cut set unavailability and cut set frequency calculations. Let's now go to the next report. Here we see the list of importance rankings listing each of the blocks in our system in the order of importance. The block appearing at the top of the list is where we look into improving and therefore improving our system availability. For example, we could introduce a second generator if financially viable, which would improve our availability tremendously. Let's now look at the next report, which is System Results Summary. As we only have a small system with just 1 page and 1 end node, there's only 1 line on this report showing us the results for this end node. Each one of these report templates are saved as a small file in the Item Toolkit program's subfolder Reports. These files or templates can then be shared with other colleagues within your organization so that all future reports would be consistent into the expected format. Let's now look into creating our own report template. To do this, we switch over to the Templates tab, and here we would expand the tables for the RBD modules. We see lots of tables here with lots of parameters in each table, and we can choose to select any parameter from any table and combine them into one report. But for the purpose of keeping this tutorial short and straight to the point, let's create a report template for our blocks. Let's select the block name, part number, vote number quantity, description, unavailability, and failure frequency. Let's now save this template and call it RBD blocks. To view our data for this report, we would go back to the templates list and expand the RBD node. Here we see a new report template called RBD blocks. We can then select this template and click on Preview to see what our report looks like. As we can see, all the chosen parameters are listed in columns, but it needs a bit or work to make it presentable. So let's do this. To make further adjustments to our report template, we would use the Customize tab. Here, we can select our report template and view all the details for our template. There are multiple tabs here for the header, the footer, the fields and page size and orientation, etc. Let's change the report header by selecting the top node and entering a new report name. Let's enter a new name for our report pumping system and select a background color of yellow. Now let's look at all the fields or parameters and adjust the spacing for each of the columns. The measurements here for each column is in TWIPs or spaces. So, let's enter 1500 for each of these fields, and let's enter 2500 for the description, and then take a look to see our changes. Once I have entered these values for each of our fields, I can then click on Save, and once saved, I can go back to the Preview tab to see my changes. As we can see, all of the changes have now taken effect, and our report is looking much more presentable. So, in less than 5 minutes, we have managed to create a new report which can be shared with other colleagues within our organization, saving them time and making our work consistent. We can then send this report directly to the printer or PDF write, or export it to any other electronic format within this extensive list of options. Now let's take a look at exporting our diagram to a Word document or printing it to a printer or PDF writer. Let's first take a look at sending the diagram straight to printer or PDF writer. To do this, we would select the File menu option Print Preview, Active View. The active view is the diagram view for all the diagram-oriented modules such as RBD, fault tree, Markov, and event tree. When we select this option, we can see a window with various options to control our diagram printing. The first option is for projects that have multiple RBD systems and whether we wish to export all the RBD system diagrams or whether we want to print the current RBD that we are working on. So we leave the selection as the current system. The next options are for fitting our diagram to page, which means if any part of our RBD system is fallen off the chosen page size and orientation, with this option selected, the RBD diagram will be reduced in size to fit our selected page size and orientation. Let's select this option also to make sure nothing falls off the page. The next option is for creating a reference table with all the blocks and nodes listed in alphabetical order, the corresponding page number that can be located. Let's select this option also, even though our system is very small and all of the items are on one page. The last two options are for creating header and footer with various parameters such as page numbers and dates, etc. But for the purpose of this tutorial, we won't select these options. And now we are ready to click on OK and see a print preview of our diagram. As we can see, we only have one page for our diagram, and the second page contains a list of our blocks and nodes, and the page number they can be found on. We can then decide to send this directly to the printer or a PDF writer via the print button on the toolbar. Let's now close this and look at exporting our diagram directly to a Word document. On the main RBD toolbar, we can see a Word icon, and when we click this, a window will appear with various different options similar to the Print Preview Active View options, but with more choices. Let's select the options for Fit to Page, Auto Arrange, and create a reference table and export this to Word. As we can see, a Word document opens up automatically with our RBD system diagram on page 1 and the reference table on page 2. The settings for our page setup and border size properties are all transferred to the Word document. Let's now introduce some borders for our diagram and see the export to Word again. Let's select Page Setup, Diagram Page Setup, and put in borders of 15 millimeters for each of the four options left, right, top, and bottom. Let's export to Word again and see the result. As we can see, these border settings have been transferred to Word as expected. Let's now change our page orientation to portrait and see how this is handled when it comes to exporting it to this page setting. File, Page Setup, Diagram Page Setup, and change the orientation to portrait. OK, and let's export to Word again. Now we can see because we have the Auto Fit to Page selected, the program reduces the size of our RBD system to fit to this page size and orientation. For obvious reasons, there is a limit on how far the diagram can be reduced, as we would not be able to read the details on the diagram if it was reduced too far. This is why we need to manage our large RBD systems by creating subsystems and subpages to ensure the presentation of our diagram when exported to Word or written to PDF documents. I hope this part 2 of the Item Toolkit tutorial on the RBD module has been helpful and look forward to seeing you in part 3, where we explore how our RBD system can be expanded into multiple subsystems on multiple pages and how we would manage large RBD systems when it comes to printing the diagrams.